Okay, we will get this going Tuesday, October 11th, 2022, 6 o'clock, Grand Rapids Municipal Building. We'll start the board meeting. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Wait a moment. Yeah, we're going to have to move that flag. You can't see it behind me. All right, approve the agenda. Anybody have questions on that? Hearing none, we'll move on. Approve minutes of September 13th, 2022 town board meeting.
I can make that motion to approve them as presented.
Patty makes the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Andy second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Approved. Public comment. People wishing to address the board be limited to 2 minutes each, with public comment limited to a total of 30 minutes. Anybody from the public wish to address? Seeing none, we will move on. Number 5, monthly reports. Chief.
Monthly report for September of 2022. We're currently staffed with 47 members. We're always looking for motivated individuals. Get a hold of me at the fire department or the town hall if you're interested. In the month of September, we had 40 calls for service, which consisted of 33 EMS calls and 7 fire calls. So that consisted of 1 structure alarm, 1 mutual aid structure with Town of Rome, false alarm, 1 gas leak, 1 vehicle fire, and 2 carbon monoxide calls. So, training information, the monthly department training consisted of the EMS group is still going through their EMR refresher, and the fire group, actually EMS and fire, I've got one of Gary's ambulances from United down here, and my first responders drove ambulances, and then my firefighters drove the trucks. You might have noticed that day we had trucks on the road a better part of the day, going through our on and off road EVOC course. So, department meetings, one department monthly meeting, officer meeting, 3 training meetings. Other training the fire department attended this month. Myself and Assistant Chief Roosh attended the Wisconsin MABUS conference on September 23rd. For those that don't know, MABUS stands for Mutual Aid Box Alarm System. It's getting more heavily used as the years go on with staffing issues and working safely on the fire ground. So they had their conference up in Stevens Point, their Wisconsin State Conference. And then last Friday or 2 Fridays ago, myself, Assistant Chief Roosh, Captain Ski, and Lieutenant Wallach attended a 1-day training hosted by Wisconsin Rapids Fire Department with a nationally renowned speaker, Michael Gigliano from Seattle Fire Department. He did a thing in the morning called This House Rocks, and then a session in the afternoon called The Art of No-Go, which was assessing risk and structure fires. And so This House Rocks in the morning, that was on things for station room morale and keeping good morale in your house. And then the afternoon one was all on structural tactics. So super worthwhile, very, very good stuff. Public relations, we hosted one of our bi-monthly 2-day blood drives, so did really well with numbers this time around. So that's good because the donations were pretty light. I also met with the DNR group and the Brookhaven Property Owners Association on September 16th for an update on their Firewise program they have going on in Brookhaven. So fire prevention education has resumed. Last week of September we did Woodside 4K morning and PM classes here at the station. And then this didn't happen last night, but it happened tonight. So the Rams middle school students, on behalf of Riley Harris, raised some money through their own fundraisers for the police auxiliary and the fire department, and they gave us this tonight.
Wow.
So, not bad for some junior high kids.
Yeah, very
So,
good.
anyways, that'll be split between the police auxiliary and the fire department. We'll get that, but we're gonna display this in the town hall here for a while, and pretty impressive. It was really a cool ceremony they had over there tonight. So, in other, pleased to announce to the board that I got a grant I wrote. I got through the state EMS, that Wisconsin State DHS Flex Grant. I wrote a grant for $50,000 to defray the cost of our new squad truck, and I got it. I don't have the money it's not in our checking account yet, but I did get the grant, and it's supposed to be coming our way. So,
Awesome.
yes.
That's huge.
Yeah, it really
That
is.
Huge, yeah.
Yeah, that'll knock most of that loan for the chassis out right off the get-go. So, smoke detectors, we did one home this month. I know we got a bunch more coming in October. And last month we sold 4 more address signs. Safety department, 0 injuries to report this month. So, any questions from the board? Yes,
I
Patty?
just have one. I know last month I talked about, or asked the question about what carbon monoxide, were they real or were they just false alarms per se? I guess more people are more aware about fire, the smoke alarms, and not so much about the carbon monoxide. So I think just the next couple meetings, if you don't mind, I just would like to ask, because the last time it was a water heater pilot, which people probably don't think about going out and causing issues. So is there, with the 2 that you had reported on the carbon monoxide, was there anything that was unusual, or they were just?
I'm trying to think which calls these were.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of times it's either the heat exchanger in the water heater or the heat exchanger in the furnace.
Yeah.
But I believe the last 2 we've been on we've found no CO.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but, a number of years ago, we had that one over here on 52nd in Auburn, and we hospitalized 4 people into the hospital that
Right.
night.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, most of the time it's bad detectors, but you can't ever downplay it because
Can't assume.
it can be serious. So,
Thank you.
any other questions from any of the board or anybody? Okay. All right, thank you.
Chief Peterson.
Good evening, everyone.
Daycare center.
Separated here. Okay, for the month of September, the Grand Rapids Police Department handled 373 calls for service. That compared to 385 calls for service in September of 2021, approximately a 3% decrease in calls. Board members have a breakdown of those calls. Through the third quarter now of 2022, the Grand Rapids Police Department handled 3,153 calls for service, which compared to 3,135 calls for service during the same period in 2021. That's less than a 1% increase in calls. Police Department issued 71 traffic citations, 15 municipal ordinance citations, and 55 written warnings for the month of September. One thing I didn't put on there, we didn't have any DNR citations last month, so
Good.
that's always a good thing. On September 7th, 2022, I assisted the Waupaca Police Department with their sergeant promotional interviews at the Waupaca Police Department. It's a great opportunity to participate in another agency's promotional process and get a feel for what other departments do for promotions. On September 22nd, 2022, Chief Scott Drew of the Port Edwards Police Department and I co-hosted the monthly meeting for the North Central Chiefs of Police Association at the Bullseye Country Club. Business meeting was well attended with a variety of law enforcement topics discussed. Vehicles in the department are doing well outside normal routine maintenance, and once again, if you ever feel free to stop by my office anytime if you want to chat or have any questions or concerns. Thank you.
Cool.
Hey, question for you, Chief.
Yeah.
End of the month is crazy day, Halloween coming up. Is there anything that we need to kind of talk to people that possibly might be out there? I see on TV all this crazy candy-colored fentanyl and all that. Has any of that reached this area? Is it kind of a, is there anything that we got to worry about with that sort of thing?
We have our, at the end of the month, on the 29th, I believe it is, Saturday, the last Saturday in October, we have our semi-annual National Take Back event. So you will be hearing some things about that, the Take Back event. And it doesn't relate directly to Halloween, but it's one way of getting those pharmaceuticals and drugs and things that are no longer either expired or not being used or whatever, get them off the street so they don't get into things, like we do. I haven't seen anything yet, and we haven't put anything out. I think that there's been a national notifications going around out there about this different candy color fentanyl coming in from across the border and things like that. So I think as we get closer, you'll see some national things come out, and anything that we put out or the Wood County Health Department or any other the local agencies might put out will be shared amongst all the agencies. So, but as of right now, there hasn't been too much discussion on how we're going, other than the normal precautions to take when kids are out trick-or-treating, things like that.
Okay.
Our plan is to have some auxiliary out helping us patrol the streets in some of the busier neighborhoods again. So we'll have hopefully extra appearance out there when during the trick-or-treat hours. So.
On your take back, do they have to be in the original containers?
No, they don't. As a matter of fact, we prefer they're not in the original containers.
That was advertised on the radio just the other day that there was a drug bag, you had to have it in, you could cross off your name and stuff like that, but they had to come back in an original.
No, we prefer they come in, the individuals that bring in the drugs, they'll bring it in. The best way to do it is put it in like a Ziploc bag and then deposit it in there, and then that way, because when they're brought in the original containers and stuff, we take them out of the original containers and they are boxed and packaged, just all the pills mixed together. And then, of course, you have your liquids, which those will stay in the original container, but then we try to protect those so they won't rupture or break or whatever like that. But no, we prefer they come in the Ziploc bags or whatever.
So take your pill bottles, open them up, dump them in a Ziploc bag, recycle your container and.
Recycle your container, take the label off.
Yep. Before
And
recycling, yeah.
if we get the original container and it still has the label on it, we typically do not remove the labels, but we do put the pill bottles or whatever in recyclables. So that as much as the people can do to protect their identity, so to speak, the better off they are. So they can package them that way and bring them into us. That helps them also.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Treasurer's report.
Okay, our beginning balance in September was $5,373,776.04. We had disbursements of, year-to-date disbursements of $9,537,272.51. Receipts year-to-date, $5,951,041.73. with an ending balance of $1,787,545.26. And that breakdown in the different accounts, our checking account balance is $105,931.08. Our repo account is $764,231.36. Our money market account is $328,233.48. The ARPA account is $668,919.81. The tax account has $12.50 in it. The repo account has $126.33. We have outstanding checks of $79,909.30. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Do we have a check sheet or something like that? Do you have one that we pass around and sign? Alrighty. Topic 6, discussion possible action on amending ordinance 63 regulating synthetic and hemp-derived cannabinoid products. This was brought to us through the legislative. Nick, do you want to kind of go through this here?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this item does come as a recommendation for amendment from the Legislative Committee after review at their September 26th, 2022 meeting. There were two amendments I'd like to call your attention to that were part of the recommendation. Those have been incorporated into the version that you have here this evening. One of those is on page 2. There was a correction made to the spelling of Croman-1-OL. So that number 2 on page 2, we removed the extra H in there. Second, on the very last page, under number 4, we've added in town to the city or county parks. So it's town, city, and county parks.
We had a
Yeah, go.
we had a similar one passed at the county level at our last county board meeting. So
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll
Got a
second that.
motion, Candy second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none?
Did we miss number 7?
Nope, I'm hitting it right now.
Oh,
We just got done with 6.
There is a different agenda, Bill. It should have been in your basket.
oh, okay. All right. Good.
No, we're on to 7 now. September disbursement vouchers. If anybody has any questions on those?
Nope, look, I'm-
Motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve them.
Patty makes a motion. You got a second?
A second.
Amber's on the board with a second. Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Number 8, operator license applications. Looks like we have 2, one for Tri-City and one for Bud's Corner Mart. And we've got one that was denied for Bud's Corner Mart.
I'll make a motion to approve the 2 that were approved by the police chief and deny the one that was denied.
A motion by Andy, do we have a second?
Second.
Patty, second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Passes. Monthly reports from committees, Public Works, did not meet. Airport Commission, we met last week. September fuel sales were down. I think people, obviously, things are expensive and they're not flying as much. But we are pretty much hitting what we need to hit there at the airport, so it's been a good year again. It is a busy little airport. The new fuel system is up and running. They've had some bugs to work out. They had the company that builds the system actually have to come in And that system's, it's got a 1-year warranty, and it will not get signed off as far as being in use until it's 100% proven. So we're gonna push that as long as we can, just in case there's something that's unforeseen, which was nice, because it'll put us through next year's busy season. We'll be able to put it to work
Test.
while it's still under warranty, and if anything shows up, hopefully it will show up then. So, recycling, solid waste and water.
I have nothing. Or we did, what was that, on the 26th, we had the recycling meeting, and,
No, that was legislative.
oh, yes, indeed, that was
Mhm,
legislative, sorry, no, we don't.
Nothing in recycling. No.
No props either.
Planning commission?
We met last night, and we did a recommendation to the town board. You'll see that hopefully next month, but could possibly be December, depending on when we are able to meet again, because our next town board meeting is on election day, so we have to take a look at that to
Yep.
see how we're going to work that. It's a recommendation for agricultural rezone to an R2, where they're taking a parcel of land and creating a 1.970 parcel of land, a lot on there, so that's the two things. And then we just did discuss more about the B1 district as far as the permitted and conditional uses, and that was about it.
Thank you. Public buildings?
Nothing.
Legislative, we met the end of last month, went through the Lampett Lee report and brought to the town board the ordinance that we just passed on the hemp cannabinoid, I guess is the word. So, public safety,
We haven't met, I have a meeting, and Nick's gonna be accompanying me, as well as the fire chief, with the town of Saratoga on the 19th, where we're just gonna obviously be listening to that meeting and answering any questions specifically that they have. We're not meeting with them to negotiate or discuss anything. We're just gonna kind of answer questions and bring any concerns back to the board related to the contract that they may have, or get those ironed out. Town of Grant is circulating an email trying to schedule the same type of meeting. We just have not landed on a date. They're still getting back to me on a date that's gonna work for their board.
thank you.
I just would like to know if you're gonna be noticing that meeting,
We're not actually gonna be meeting as a public safety committee.
but
I'm
just if other people from the town show up at that meeting. Because I do go to the town of Saratoga meeting once. in a
They're
while.
gonna be posting the meeting, that they're gonna be discussing it, but
Are you talking about a quorum notice then?
Yes.
I mean, we can certainly
I mean,
post a quorum notice, I suppose. I mean, I can assist deputy clerk in preparing a quorum notice for that, easy enough.
Anything else? Nope. Thank you. Economic development,
We didn't meet, but as far as the trail signs go, the posts have been picked up from Metcalf Lumber, and then the signs are still being made. So they should be ready for the spring to go on the ground.
thank you. Personnel,
Nothing in addition to what we're going to talk about tonight.
WTA,
Yes, the meeting, the county unit meeting was held on September 16th, and it was in the town of Lincoln. Herrick from the Nasonville Dairy was the speaker that night, and he talked about the cheese production and the taxes and stuff like that that brings into Wood County. And Jack Herrick from the directors updated us on legislative issues that he had. Donna Rose was also there talking about the meetings that she'd just been appointed to and about the election coming up, because she is, of course, running again. And just to let you know that the next meeting is going to be the 21st. You all got a notice at first that it was on the 14th, but Patricia, who writes our minutes, is,
Kruger.
yeah, she didn't have it the right date, so we got it now, so it's going to be on the 21st. And I attended the Towns Association this weekend. It was very good. It was in the Appleton area where it was. It was a 3-day convention, and we had 15 different workshops. And I said it was a very busy time. And one of the there was a lot of good ones, but I say some of the best ones were on people requesting information from the town. And also, there was a lot on agendas and meetings and minutes. And some of those were only supposed to last 2 hours, and they continued on. It was very good, and at the end of it, we had legislators at it. Was governor wasn't there. There was no people running for office there. But Governor Tommy Thompson was there, former Governor Tommy Thompson. He's the one that served the longest in the state history as governor, and I was on the town board when he was in there. He was very good with towns and got us our road aids. But it was a very interesting one, and I have some material on it. It was called our 75th anniversary, 75 years. Ben Hanneman is in the book, who was the town chairman for the town of Grand Rapids, but they don't give him credit for being the first one to have a towns association. But the first meeting was held in Adams County, and then the second meeting that was held in Nacusa. So there's a lot in there about Ben Hanneman, though, and what he was. Some of his family is still around here, Ben Hanneman, and he was in town where I think it's the Wisconsin Rapids Lions. That used to be at the town hall. So that's all I have. But like I say, it's one of the most interesting ones, and the workshops were great. So
Thank you.
thank you for letting me attend.
Reports from individual town board members. We'll start with Bill.
Yeah, I just want to let you know, I see the fire station's getting painted. How did that come about?
It was a budgeted item.
Because when I used to be with the public buildings, I got an estimate on it. Did somebody get an estimate on it?
Mm-hmm.
2.
Yep. It was a approved budgeted item.
Okay.
Patty?
I have nothing, thank you.
Andy?
I don't have anything.
Amber?
No, nothing.
I have nothing. Okay. Number 11, public input. People wishing to address the board will be limited to 2 minutes each, with public input limited to a total of 16 minutes. Anybody from the... Sure.
Oh, I just done that, yeah, they finished today, so the station is painted. All the tin all the way around, and then the three service doors.
Is it outside or inside?
Outside,
Oh,
You didn't do pink to match the posts, though, I see.
no.
Okay.
Okay, a little more.
Next year's budget process, you'll see what it'll cost to do the inside.
Okay. Anybody else? Yep.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Barb Randolph, 66 Cambodia Avenue. I would like to request that the board bring back the Lambert and Lee report to a committee or the board that would actually take some action on it, or at least and allow public discussion of the item. I'd hate to see the time, money, and work that went into that report go to waste. I'd also like to see the town bring up the 2-mile ditch issue again. It hasn't been in the works anywhere here for the last 6 months or so. It was active at the end of last year and in the spring. I was hoping someone would be able to get that issue back before the board. We've got water issues in the town, and it'd be nice to see them addressed. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Nobody? Okay. Number 12, future agenda items. I guess one is the Bomar appraisal here. We'll have to talk to that. And then the other one that Patty alluded to, the November town board meeting currently is the 8th, which is election day. so that is not going to work. I'm wondering what
So,
everybody looks like.
Ideally, the following week would work best because of our agenda items that we had on the needed 30-day notice, so that they can be on the next town board agenda for approval. So,
I will be out of town that whole week.
okay. Well, then we can put that on the December just as well. So if that week in November works best for all, that is fine.
I'm wondering if we can just bump it to the 9th, Wednesday the 9th.
You'd have to hold it at the fire department though, because we have court on the 9th.
Do you have anything? Well, you've got court, so you wouldn't be there then. Okay, so that won't work. So what about Thursday the 10th?
10th works for me. Bill?
Works for me.
Yes?
Yes.
What'd you
Amber?
Why couldn't we have it on that Tuesday at the fire station?
Wait, hold on.
say? That's election day.
Election.
Looks like there's an ambulance meeting
Well, we've
scheduled that
had it
night as
that
well.
way. Okay.
It's just super busy.
Ambulance board meeting scheduled on the 10th.
I don't know.
What did you say, what was?
I believe there's an ambulance board meeting scheduled on the 10th.
Look at the minutes I haven't completed yet.
Yeah, I think that might be the
I'll
case.
double check. Hang on.
Yeah, I can't make the 10th.
You can't make the 10th?
Maybe don't worry about it because she can't make the 10th anyway, so. You'll check into that
What
later.
about Monday the 7th? Over at the fire station. Bob, what do you got over, what is the fire station open? Because that week probably would have to be over there. Do you have stuff?
That would be my, no,
Training.
that would be my November business meeting, but,
Okay.
That'd be a
if you
little
want
tight
the
over there.
Meeting room, I could work out in that day or something.
No,
The 9th we could do. I mean, Amanda's gonna do minutes, if someone can just know who's making motions. She'll do these minutes.
but Nick would be,
I mean,
you and Nick
Yeah,
would both
so
be.
technically I could just jump over there. I don't need to be through initial appearances technically.
Mm-mm.
So I could make that meeting.
The 9th?
Works for me.
What does the fire station look like on the 9th?
Should be open, should be open that night.
You okay there?
Sorry.
I know a guy who knows CPR.
Yeah,
We got a Lucas device
AED.
across the street. We can
Yeah.
just put it on you and get rid of that cough.
yes, I would.
Okay,
9th
well,
works.
if the 9th works for everybody, let's book the 9th.
6 o'clock.
Yeah.
At the fire
Amber,
department.
you good?
Fire department,
Yeah,
I'm good
fire
with that.
department. Okay. All right, those are the only two things that I'm aware of for future agenda. Anybody else? Nick, do we have anything that you're aware of?
If so, I'll just email it
Okay.
out to Jewel and yourself.
Okay.
Nothing
good.
offhand. but-
When is our annual budget meeting scheduled?
We're gonna talk about that.
Yeah, we gotta talk about
That's
budget
gonna
meetings.
take a lot of time.
Yep. Coming up, so. Okay, no other features. Then town board move into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin State Section 19.851C, considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the government body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility, review personnel committee recommendation regarding benefits for zoning administrative assistant positions, and possible expanded benefit compensation package. Do I have a motion to move
I'll
into
make
closed
that
session?
motion to go
Patty?
in closed.
Second.
Andy, second. Take a roll call. Bill?
Aye.
Patty?
Aye.
Andy?
Aye.
Amber?
Aye.
Jeremy is aye. All right, we are in closed session.